Putting Singaporeans first, an issue during the recent presidential election held in August, is still a hot topic, judging by today's debate. Organised by the Young PAP, 6 members from the Young PAP Network debated on the issue of whether policies crafted by the government consider Singaporeans first.
Even some policies may, on the surface, look like it's Singaporean first, such as the increase of the workers' levy, foreign workers' levy recently implemented. In reality, it is not so Singaporean first. Why? Because many of the jobs are jobs not wanted by Singaporeans. Would Harvard become the top school? Would Cambridge become the top school like what they are today? I suppose they leverage on the top talents from individual countries as a melting pot in the school to increase their international standing. I think most countries will not go into the approach by limiting university places just for their locals.
I cease to see how attracting foreign talents is actually Singaporeans firstly. And secondly, our point being, you said Cambridge, very excellent example. Even in Cambridge, right, locals pay a much lower tuition fees than for international students who come in. So our point being, in Singapore, international students actually can get away with paying same level of tuition fees as the local students if they sign up on a service obligation that allows them to work 3 years. So it's almost like I get a university seat at the same fees as a local student, plus 3 years job guaranteed when I come out of university. So that I cease to see how that is actually Singaporean first.
During the debate, the audience was allowed to participate and offer their opinions. Mother of 4, Eunice Lim, expressed her concern against policy making based on a Singaporeans first mentality.
In Chinese, I grew up with this proverb that says, bitter medicine is good for you. So when we are taking that bitter pill, we may think that, oh, it's terrible, it's terrible. But when we recover, then we realize that it was necessary. When you put Singaporeans first, you eliminate competition locally within Singapore with jobs, with housing, with education, etc. But you are not eliminating the global competition. So in the long run, Singaporeans will suffer.
MP for Jurong GRC, Desmond Lee, attended the debate and watched from the sidelines. Mr. Lee shares his thoughts on the crossfire and the motion of the debate.
All policies in Singapore are intended to benefit Singapore and Singaporeans. Singapore and Singaporeans are front and center of every policy. But whether the benefits are felt directly or indirectly, whether in the short term, middle term, or long term, will depend on what we're trying to achieve. So while policies may seem to be painful in the short term, if we care to look for the mid to long term, you'll find that many of these policies are intended to give Singapore and Singaporeans the energy, the capability to go for the long haul.
When asked about the public outcry for a stronger Think Singaporeans First mentality by policymakers, Mr. Lee felt it was a reaction to the government's immigration policy.
When we had an economic crisis that the world was facing, and which we also suffered, the government opened the doors to foreigners in order to allow our businesses to continue to grow in order to continue to give Singaporeans jobs. But they felt the disamenity of having too many foreigners, and the comfort level was, not quite there because of the crowding in our public spaces, in our transport system, in housing. So it's really a reaction to the infrastructural challenges that we faced when the economy suddenly boomed after the crisis.
With a vote of 17-7, the opposition team convinced the audience of their stance that policies should benefit Singapore first and Singaporeans ultimately. Catch the full debate in the following clips.